Hello friends, today we will be studying the osteological features of the 10th, 11th and 12th ribs. Now what we have here is the 10th rib. Now 10th rib has all the features similar to a typical rib except for a few. One of them is that the head of the 10th rib has a single articular facet for articulation with the numerically corresponding, that is the 10th thoracic vertebra. This is the only distinguishing feature that helps us in identifying the 10th rib as compared to other typical ribs. We then go on to see the 11th rib. Now 11th and 12th ribs are floating ribs. So their anterior ends are pointed. They articulate with a very small costal cartilage, but they do not reach the anterior part of the thoracic cage. They are false or floating ribs. Now, features which help us in identifying the 11th rib. It is almost double the size of the 12th rib. When we have a look at the head has one single facet for articulation with the 11th thoracic vertebra. The head is directly continuing as the shaft. There is no constriction or there is no neck seen in the 11th rib. There is no tubercle either. The anterior end, as I said, is pointed. And if compared to other typical ribs, the floating ribs are much shorter. These are the features of the 11th rib. Now, how do we differentiate between the 11th and the 12th rib? The 11th rib is much longer as compared to the 12th rib. If you look at the inner surface of the shaft, we can see a costal groove which is present in the 11th rib. It is absent in the 12th rib. And at times we could see a slight bending or a slight angle which is seen on the 11th rib and it is not seen in the 12th rib. So these were features which differentiate the 11th rib from other typical ribs and those which differentiate the 11th rib from the 12th rib. Then we go on to study the 12th rib. Now the 12th rib again is a floating rib. It is much shorter as compared to the 11th rib. The head shows a single facet for articulation with the 12th thoracic vertebra. There is no neck, there is no tubercle. Anterior end is pointed. It is much smaller as compared to the 11th rib. The inner surface shows no presence of any costal groove and the shaft shows no presence of any twist or no angle seen in the 12th rib. Now, when we study other features of the 12th rib, the anterior end of the 12th rib meets with a small costal cartilage. The posterior end shows the head. The head shows or gives attachment to the capsule and the radiate ligaments. When we study the two surfaces, there is an outer surface and an inner surface. The outer surface close to the head of the 12th rib gives attachment to the costotransverse ligament above and to the lumbocostal ligament below. Near the tip or the anterior end, this surface gives attachment to latissimus dorsi muscle above and the external oblique muscle below. The remaining part of the outer surface gives attachment to the posterior lamella of the thoracolumbar fascia, the levator costae, erector spinae, and the serratus posterior inferior muscles. So these were the attachments on the outer surface. We then go on to the inner surface. The quadratus lumborum muscle with the anterior lamella of the thoracolumbar fascia is attached on the lower part of the medial half of this inner surface. The internal intercostal muscle is attached to the upper border of the middle half of the shaft, while the diaphragm arises from the upper part of the anterior 1/4 of the shaft. These are attachments on the inner surface. We now go on to the two borders, the upper border and the lower border. The upper border gives attachment to the external and internal intercostal muscles. The lower border, its medial half, gives attachment to the middle lamella of thoracolumbar fascia, which corresponds with the extent of the quadratus lumborum muscle. Just beyond the lateral border of quadratus lumborum, this border gives attachment to the lateral arcuate ligament, and the lateral part of the lower border gives attachment to the posterior lamella of the thoracolumbar fascia. These were the attachments of the 12th rib. Now let us see how to identify the side to which the 12th rib belongs. The anterior pointed end should face anteriorly. The head should lie posteriorly. The inner surface faces medially and upwards, while the outer surface faces laterally and downwards. The superior border is sharp, the inferior border is rounded. Keeping these in mind, we can identify that this 12th rib belongs to the left side. Thus, we have studied the morphological features of the 10th, 11th and 12th rib and also seen the attachments and how to identify the side to which the rib belongs. Thank you.